Oh, hey, what's going on, good people? This is Primetime Phil, like always, with my co-host, of course, GameTime Bryan. What's going on, Bryan? After the great victory, go ahead.
Primetime Phil, GameTime Bryan here, otherwise known as the Mailman. Are we excited today? We real excited, man. What a game, Phil. What a game. What a game.
I agree. All the stuff that we said that could possibly happen with the recipe, not everything has to happen, but a majority does. Like Cooper Rush doesn't have to have a 300-yard game. He just has to manage it, not turn the ball over, let the defense do its thing, run the ball. Oh my God, I could just keep on splurting all this stuff out. But the fact that I like out of everything.
Did you say squirting?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Squirting?
I can just squirt it all out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just want everybody in. All right.
Thank you for that.
Continue, sir.
Well, I will continue squirting since you kind of squirted, messed up my squirting rule. But anyways, Victory Monday, and I think the best thing about it was that I was wrong. I was close to the score, but I was wrong, and I love that because, that's the same thing with the Bengals game. Like, I felt like if I just chose the Cowboys just to choose them, that it would be putting some bad juju out there. So I'm glad that the defense was able to do its thing and just prove me wrong. I love it.
Listen, first things first, Angelica, what a win.
Angelica.
Mark Hudson, listen, man, you guys were right. Everybody that, because, you
guys were talking about it.
People know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a couple that are just fans and we're going to win,
every
88 to
single
nothing
game,
every week. But listen.
Angelica, eat crow, prime time.
I'm a fan first. I'm a fan first, okay? I'm a Cowboy fan. I always want them to win, but I've been jaded over the last, I don't even want to know how long, 25 years. We've had very little big moments where we've been underdogs all year, Phil. Underdogs. And I was just over the moon with our defense. I will say this. Our defense is super.
Wow. And
pun is intended. They are a super defense.
They are. They are.
When Dak comes back, people, when Dak comes back, we will be a complete team. It may take a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't cost us in the win column. But that defense, what I'm seeing now, we're coming in waves. We're deep. It's what I thought, what I hoped, but not necessarily what I expected, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. There was a lot of thing about this defense when, you hear it, you see it, you see their production, you see the fact that they are putting on pressure. It's not like, Dan Quinn is scheming. Okay, I'm not gonna take away from Dan Quinn. Don't get me wrong, because right now what you have is a balance of coaching meeting talent. And I think that's exactly what you have on this defense. But at the same time, Dan Quinn's not coaching somebody wide open to the quarterback. He's not scheming something to cause somebody to come wide open. It's people beating their guys. So when you look at the rest of the defense and how you have depth behind everyone, where Curse comes in, he does his thing. So when you look at the depth, I look at the fact that this defense can go for a long time through the season because it has depth. It can rest because you have people behind you that can also make plays. Man, like. I'm just in awe with Dorrance. Dorrance is the guy that, he started it off.
Armstrong.
He started it off.
I made a comment on the live yesterday. I said, Randy who? And I was serious. Randy who? I mean, Randy would have flashes, don't get me wrong, and he would tease you with how good he can be. But Dorrance Armstrong was just a baby when he was playing with Randy. He's coming to his own. I mean, he is, dude. It was impressive. He hasn't done it one game. He's done it almost every game this year. He had 2 blocks in one game. I mean, he's getting pressure. Hey, listen, I'm not a Stephen Jones fan. I'll never apologize. He can go scratch. he can go take a long walk off a short pier. I ain't apologizing to that jackass. That being said, that obviously was the right move, is to let Randy go. However, they did it. Just like when they got Dak. They tried everything they could not to take Dak Prescott. They wanted Paxton Lynch. They wanted the dude out of Michigan State, Connor Cook. And then Dak, in the 4th round, fell into their lap. Micah Parsons, he fell into their lap. There was no way they were taking Parsons. They were taking one of the corners. Despite that, it was a beautiful thing. Matt Stafford is going to be he's not, number one, he's feeling it today, and he's going to be thinking about that defense for the next few nights. That was impressive.
Sorry, I got I Love Weed in the chat going, anyone eating crow?
Weed's my boy.
Of course we're eating crow, man. If you would have, signing in, you would have heard us talking about how much crow we had eaten and how it actually tasted delicious.
We talked about it.
Yeah, I'm all for it, man. I love it. I love this defense proving me. It's the combination of, when you look at Cooper Rush and you look at his numbers, you look at the passes. How many passes did he actually complete? Now, I'm not going to take all of it was his fault, because obviously you had CeeDee Lamb dropping a pass. You had some stuff there, but again, it's not amazing, but he is doing what he needs to do. So it's hard for me to criticize him when he's doing what needs to be done in order to win the game. So, he is doing his thing. He is doing a great job as the backup quarterback, and he's definitely proving to the league that he has the possibility of, if he was to move on from us, somebody's going to give him a shot as a starter. So, I don't know if that's the biggest thing. It might be one of those things where you see guys like Alvin Harper where they shined as a number 2, and then all of a sudden they went somewhere else to become the number 1, and then it wasn't ever the same. So again, he's benefiting from this defense. He'll be the first to tell you as well. This defense is just amazing to watch. Putting people, what was it, 10 the past couple of games? So I mean,
yeah, it's impressive, man. What they're doing out. I mean, listen, that's what I wanted. That's what I thought they had in them, but to go do it against the Super Bowl champs. Now, I understand they're banged up, but that's how it works. That's how it works. I mean, sometimes you get all the breaks or whatever. Oh, well. I mean, it was impressive. Looking at the comments, Gina, what's up, Gina? Be careful driving. She's always I guess driving. She's coming home from work and yeah, be careful if you're driving.
Yeah, we got a bad time.
I love Weed. That's my boy right there. I gotta hang out with Weed one of these days. Angelica's
she's right.
Awesome. And Mark Hudson, how you doing, buddy?
She's like, Pollard was very impressive. I mean, the 1-2 punch of Zeke and Pollard. I like how Zeke was kind of hitting them, and then Pollard was able to kind of hit a home run, and that's kind of been a nice combination. So, yeah, I definitely agree with that. What do you have to say about the running game?
They are perfect together. Mm-hmm. These people who want to have a good game. Listen, Pollard's the home run guy, but there's a reason why he's the home run guy. That's his forte. He hits the hole and he can break it. I don't know what's going to happen after this year. I hope we can keep him and Zeke, but they are perfect together. He only had 8 carries yesterday, people, but I assure you, if he would have had 20 carries, like Zeke had, 21 carries, it would not have been the same. Mm-hmm. And you saw what happened when he had the pass block. He slid it on the right side of McGovern and let the left end come screaming in on the Cooper Rush. I don't care about that. I care about them working together as a team, bump and bump, or thunder and lightning, whatever you want to call it. I love Pollard, but that's how you got to use them. I'd like to see a few more touches than yesterday, but I would say by the way the game was going, you needed to run the ball with Zeke, and Zeke had some vicious runs yesterday. He was running people over. He wasn't falling back. He was always falling forward a yard or two. Yeah. It was impressive. And that's what we know they could do. So, the Cowboy fans just can't enjoy what they're watching. They want to say, "Ooh, it could be better. Let's just go all Pollard." That's not the way it works. I mean, it's perfect how it is. The Kellen Moore will screw it up, most likely. I mean, I was worried at points yesterday. I don't know about you, Phil, but I saw way too many empty backfields, and it seemed like early in the game they were all paying for it. Every time they went empty, he was getting rushed and incomplete holding calls. It was bad. It was bad early on.
Yeah, I mean, even
as far as the play calling,
I think this was
all positive, people. But I'm not gonna lie, that pissed me off.
Well, I mean, and there were some things that we were right about. I mean, what's funny is that Jack, where's Jack Meeker? He's not here right now, but he will be probably in a little bit. You know, he was right in the sense that we talked about how we thought Maher was going to at least miss a field goal because of why. Why did we think? You know, you brought it up.
It was the long snapper.
The long snapper.
I told you that. I'm not trying to be right. I just know how the game works.
Yeah.
These fucking excuse my language. These kickers are finicky. You know, they're like a finicky cat. You know, they like shit the same way. Once it goes a little bit off, they lose. But dude, there's something I want to talk about.
Go ahead.
If we play this defense, fucking game in and game out. I don't care if we're going to Philly. I don't care where we're going. And we could run the ball. We're not going to be stopped. And when Dak comes back, it's super. And I'm just going to leave it there. Now, I'm not getting ahead of myself, but we're already I looked at the line already. We're already a -5 and 42. Over under was 42. We're already a -5 in Philly. Good. Season is going just like I want it. Stay off the radar, people talking their shit, and we're just dominating people. I can assure you one thing. Jalen Hurts is looking at that film going, oh shit, I hope Jason Kelsey plays. I hope, Jordan Mailata plays, because I'm going to have Parsons, I'm going to have Armstrong, I'm going to have D-Law, I'm going to have
there's a lot of
I'm going to have Bohanna. He's probably coming back.
And even Sam Williams.
On and on and on.
And Sam Williams made an appearance yesterday, started getting in the mix with the pressure, got a sack. So Osa. LVE was getting pressure. He didn't quite get to him, but he was always kind of he helped Osa get his first one. And I liked that because it was just like he initiated the pressure. He was worried. Then all of a sudden Stafford was worried about Curse, and then Osa came from behind. So it was a nice collaboration. And again, you're only doing it with like 3 to 4 guys. So if that carries on, I mean, man, that says a lot about this defense. So I'm liking where that.
Weed says get the good old ass LP back. I wonder if they reached out to him. Weed, I listen. 42 is not old for a long. I mean, that's a long snapper. Look, I mean, he could. I wonder if they reached out to him. I would say probably not. I would say maybe. They reached out, unless he's 300. I mean, hey, listen, if he's 300 bills and can't bend over, then I don't know that. But I mean, that was curious. I was thinking about that too. LP could snap a ball through a car windshield and driving by doing 30 and not hit the fucking car. That's how good he is. So, I thought of that too, Weed. So. The smart minds think alike.
So let's stay on the offense, and because we only have a couple more points, because really they were kind of, other than the running game, it was kind of non-existent. So when you look at another part of it, Gallup
100 and some yards.
Yeah, like 102. Yeah, it's not very much. They Gallup with an amazing sideline catch, which obviously they had to run up very quickly to try to get the runoffs, because there was a little bobble at the end, and so that could have been something that they may have taken back. But it was an amazing catch.
It was a good catch.
It was an amazing catch.
That's what Gallup does, though. That's what Gallup does.
Sidelines. Yep.
Those unbelievable. The sideline. He has a knack. Well, it's kind of funny, and I don't know what happened with that earlier pass that he jumped and he was off time, and he was all kind of weird, and he bobbled the ball. That was a first down. That was kind of weird. I just think maybe that's lack of just being out on the field, But that was kind of weird to see out of Gallup. CD's got to stop the drops. There's not much negative, people, but CD.
Okay, I'll give you one negative. I'll give you a negative. Man. My negative is Dalton Schultz. What the hell is going on with Dalton Schultz? Because if
he's hurt,
if he's making business decisions,
he's got it.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. If you're gonna take yourself out.
He's hurt.
And Hendershot seems to have
a PCL because it don't look stable. You know, like he's fine if he's going straight, but if he's cutting, I don't know. But Gallup is a dog, Gina. Gallup does what he does, and he's only going to get better as the season goes.
He is.
I think he's going to be fine. He's just frustrating.
Gallup has that toe drag swag, just ridiculous. Just ridiculous when it comes to that sideline. Go ahead.
Yeah, in the chat, I want to hear if anybody thought what I thought. And we won the game, so I'm not complaining about the refs. So anybody watching this or going to end up watching and saying, "Oh, you guys are crying about the ref," we dominated the game. But did anybody else see that we were getting held literally all game? Mikey was getting mugged, and at least 2 or 3 times that they didn't call it.
And I'll say it was on both sides. So I talk about that because you see Parsons coming off that edge, and you see the tackle really just holding on for dear life. And then sometimes there was occasionally where the Anthony Brown had some like grabbage of Cooper Kupp, where they could have called some PI or some just anything. Yeah, sorry, man. I'm going all these great words. I like how you're focusing in on this. In the weirdest way I can possibly say. But anyways, and so when I look at that, it's just. So going back, Dalton Schultz. I think Dalton Schultz is the one where I'm just disappointed with. And if he's not, when you look at the backups, Jake Ferguson's, blocking, he's doing his thing. Hendershot seems to have a personal foul every single game now. So I think it's just his wiriness.
But that holding was so ticky-tack. I don't know about, listen, holding is holding, but if the play is on the opposite side of the field, why are we calling a ticky-tack on the other side? I don't get that. I understand it's by the rule it's holding, but if the play is on the opposite side of the field and somebody's doing a slight hold, why are we calling it? It has no impact on the play.
I'm interested.
Just like when there's a long run.
I'm interested to see what they do
holding on the other side. It's freaking ridiculous. You got to be smart enough to say, okay, there was a holding 40 yards literally over there, meaning on the line of scrimmage. I'm not talking a receiver going out into a pattern. Talking about run blocking, slight hold on the other side of the field. That's a stupid call to make.
Angelica giving me crap. I like it.
Squirts and grabbage. That's it, Angela. Angela's on my page.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going to make a T-shirt. I'm going to take a T-shirt of that. Squirts and grabbage.
Squirts and grabbage.
That's what I need from this defense, some squirts and grabbage, okay? But when there's defense,
tell you, just real quick, since we're talking about squirts and grabbage, I know one person that had to at least had the squirts was Matt Stafford.
Oh anyway, my God!
You may continue.
Yeah, I would too. Because when you talk about let's go down the line for a second. Dante Fowler getting pressure. He was definitely in the face. When you look at the one technique, when you look at these guys, when you look at the one technique, these guys are starting to show now. You got Neville Gallimore saying some stuff. You have Osa saying some stuff. There's Bohanna when he was there. So these one techniques are actually starting to do their thing as well too. So the edge rushers, of course, DeMarcus Lawrence, the whole Dorrance to Lawrence connection. I'm loving that. Yeah, man, like that whole fumble. Because I wasn't sure about that fumble. When I saw the replay, I was like, oh my God, no, that was a total fumble, man. Wow. Dorrance, man. And then Dorrance with the punt block. He's there was like a couple of people in history. I think he's the second person in history to ever have a sack and a punt block in the same. I don't know, something's got that stat. Yeah. You know those guys.
Yeah, well, listen, it was dominating. And I don't know. I know our offenses are going to be good. Whether it's clicking now, it will be clicking. Well, listen, Dak has already demonstrated he could do it. That's not an issue. It more is on Kellen Moore. I think when Dak comes back, and that's another thing. No Dak this week. Sorry. Dak should not play in Philly. Give him another week. He needs to practice every day. If you want to make him active, make him active. That's fine. But he shouldn't start this week. But I know the old adage, well, if he's active and ready to play, he should play. But if I know the Cowboys, they wouldn't make him active if they don't plan on starting him, which sucks, but that's probably true. Just start Cooper this week. Start him, and let's roll the dice with Cooper. 50-50 game. As much as I love our defense, I mean, we're going into a hornet's nest. We'll get into that with possibly Philly 500. I don't know. He's going to get back to me on Saturday night. So that's all I'll talk about for that.
Today's Mark's birthday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, Angelica
Mark
beat me
Combs.
to it.
Shout out to Mark Combs.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday,
he
dude.
He just texted both of us, so I don't know what he wants. Probably wants us to help him out. Let's see.
Hey, Mark, I saw Brian's little trophy thing. The trophy thing, and I was very jelly. So,
here we go.
Yeah, man, it's a nice craftsmanship.
Hey, Angelica, weed. Instead of just giving it to me, he shipped it.
I liked it, man. Like,
I mean, that's just a bad business decision.
And he did it with your rival as well, too. It wasn't even like he did it with your company. It was like he did it with your rival. Man, just slap in the face.
Well, that was a last-minute decision. It was good weather. It's about a 3-hour drive for me. It was his birthday, which is why I did it.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday.
It's probably the last time I want to go down for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe if you fly in, we'll hang out. But other than that, we're probably going to the Tennessee game. It would be cool, man, if you could go. But I don't know your schedule. Maybe we can kind of swoop by and pick you up at the RV or something, man. That would be great.
I got Captain Taki in here. What you missed, Taki, was me eating crow in the beginning. Of course, we were talking about how it was 20-something to 10, but it wasn't the 20-something to 10 that I thought it was going to be. So I love it. I love this defense proving us wrong. I love... and again, I keep jumping on the fact that when I do make a comment about,
I know, Mark, I'm playing with you, buddy. Happy birthday! I'm breaking your balls.
Like when I talk about Dak,
was good though.
I'm not talking negatively about Rush, and that's where I think a lot of people get offended. It feels like it's the damn Zeke and Pollard conversation all over again. You can't say one good thing about the other without the other person go, well, that means you don't like the other. No, man, I can like them. They both wear the star, man. We're both contracted. They play for us, so I can like both of them.
Pollard had 8 carries. Pollard is good. How they're going to use him?
Yeah,
8 to 15 carries, no more than that. Maybe 8 to 10, 12 carries.
I just don't want to see
it. The ball half the, 3
I just don't want
times.
to. I don't want to see it during the quarterback situation. I don't want to see one drive Dak and then one drive Rush. The old quarterback controversy thing with the Yeah, no, I don't want to see any of that. But yeah, I agree, man.
It was funny.
I Love Weed says, Dorrance reminds me of David Irving, minus the weed. Yeah, man, he is making some plays, man. Like that punt block right off.
Dorrance is coming into his own.
Yeah, that was definitely a really good scheme.
Dorrance is coming into his own.
Yeah, they knew with the new snapper being there, there was definitely a weakness, and they exploited it. And it was Dorrance did an amazing job to get the punt, but I don't know. It was like the whole thing, because those are always iffy with the punt blocks, whether you're going to get flagged or not. But it was just a perfect job. I mean, it was just an amazing job. And then he just kind of got it reminded me of baseball so much. Again, it's the first drive, so it's hard to explain it, but when you get that one person that starts to get everybody going, and all of a sudden there's a rally going, and it's kind of like that. Dorrance was that guy that got this defense going, and then everybody else kind of just followed. I would have loved to see Diggs to get an interception, but hey, man, Hooker made his interception, and I'm very happy for him, because I mean, that's a guy that's been balling as well. Yeah. So I'm loving these 3 safeties.
Yeah. I don't know, Phil. Jeffrey, Karen, Bryan, and Prime. Will you guys do the one-chip challenge if Dallas beats the Eagles? I know my answer.
I would do it. I would do it.
If they beat the Eagles, Phil, if they beat the Eagles, I'll do that. I'm not going to get carried away. I'll do one. You know what I mean? So, yes, I will. I'll definitely do it. So if that's a thing, then, we have to work it out, though. I got to make sure I'm off the next day. I do walk sometimes.
Indigestion.
I do walk my route. That's all I need. I'll be halfway, in the middle of a loop, man, and I'm unloading.
I'm going to do like the football players. I'm going to go study film. I'm going to go back to Mark Holmes's, watch them study.
You work in a hotel, man. You're good.
Yeah, and they get, I noticed when they breathe in
the jungle, you can hit a head somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, we were talking.
All right, let me get some.
No, we were talking.
You know what? Getting back to Cooper Rush. He had 100 and some yards passing. He's a game manager. There's nothing wrong with being a game manager, people. This is my problem with when Dak comes back in. Now all of a sudden we want to go 5 wide, and we just want to go. It's okay to dial it back, especially when he first comes back in until he gets a rhythm going. Let's keep up the same type of stuff. But add in some runs by Dak, and Dak has more elusiveness and can actually run on a third down if they need it. You saw when Cooper tried to run, he ain't gonna get much. I would start out with the same type of offense. Scale it down a little bit, let him get his feet wet. And then as we get hot, like as you saw last year, he was throwing for 400 yards multiple times. Then you could open it up. Still know that you have a dominating defense. Turnovers are the devil. Run the ball, play action.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still not doing as much 12 action as I wanted, but that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm definitely with you. I mean, there's definitely a lot of.
Don't change up the game plan when Dak comes back.
Yeah, as much as Dak, I love the fact that he leads his team and he's our quarterback. But there are some things that Dak definitely needs to learn from Cooper Rush. I mean, the managing of the game But I see, when I look back, when I watch some of these games over, I do see a lot of people running around wide open. And if you can get pressure on Cooper Rush where he can't go through his reads, you can get to him. So, I mean, Bobby Wagner comes out this past week and talks about how, Cooper Rush has been able to handle the blitz before, but that doesn't mean he's going to be able to do it this week. There are some people.
Did you even hear Bobby Wagner's name come up?
No, he almost had an interception.
Did you even hear his name?
There was like a smack. He smacked it down. I think there was like one time I saw it. That was it.
Yeah.
He's probably worried about that lawsuit that he has.
Yeah. I didn't see much of Bobby Wagner, and this goes into we get caught up in names. I know Mark, he did a bunch of videos, and listen, I don't blame him. We all wanted them to sign somebody. The all season was long. It was frustrating. We were coming off a loss. There's no way of knowing that we were going to have the dominating defense that we have right now. We know that in theory it was there.
Yeah, on paper.
But there's no way that you could have told me that Dorrance Armstrong would be doing what he's doing, that D-Law, a human wrecking ball, and Parsons is upping it a notch. He's going to have 20 sacks. I'm telling you now. He didn't have like a sack the last 2 games. He's been banged up. He's playing on one groin.
Yeah, the half groin thing.
I didn't even know he had 2 groins, but Mark says there's 2 groins, and I trust him.
Yeah.
He's playing on one.
Yeah, it's going to take him almost
sacks.
that week. It's going to take him about the week to really kind of start to be able to run on it more, but especially as it tightens up. So I'm interested to see where he goes. So I mean, if he's better by day 3 and 4, then it wasn't as serious. But yeah, man, when it's during the game, he did not want to come out. You saw him waving off the sideline because he wanted to, and then when the game was on the line, he made a play.
Well, I was nervous.
Yeah, of course. I was
nervous because he was on the bike and he was shaking his head. No, I'm like, okay, that means he can't go. No, that means he's not coming off the field, I guess.
So I will admit, I love Weed. I actually was one of those guys that did want Bobby Wagner. And so, but to see what he's doing, yeah, man.
I'm not saying I didn't want him.
Yeah.
At that point, we didn't sign anybody.
Yeah.
So I wanted him. But if you really think about it now,
Anthony Barr is doing just as much, I think.
You got Anthony Barr, but you got Damone Clark, who plays more of the Bobby Wagner type role. You got LVE playing good now. And what's his name out of LSU hasn't even really sniffed much because he's been banged up. The guy who had the knee injury last year, Jabril. Yeah, Jabril Cox. So looking at it now, we really didn't have room for him. We really didn't. Maybe next offseason it would have been room. We were just starving for a move. Listen, can you blame us? We had playoffs. Sorry, but that's what it was. We choked it up. We wanted something, and we were sitting there like little kids on the Christmas morning, and we were getting socks and underwear under the tree. That's not fun.
Yeah, it's not. Like I said before at Mark's channel, it's like gifts from your grandma. It's not what you want, but it's something you need. So it's, So don't get too excited about it.
I do need underwears, but come on, man.
Loyal Cowboy, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining. We got
Jeffrey Karen. The
see,
Rams
bro?
defense looked good overall. It's the offense with Stafford couldn't do anything, but who can
against Jeff? And that's
yeah.
And that's what
you, Jeff.
And that's what I was talking about during the preseason and a lot of the training camp. When you watch the defense, they were getting interceptions. I liked what the defense was doing, but I was also worried about what our offense was doing. I was like, it's our offense that's throwing the interceptions. But when you see them and how they're handling other people, it's like, man, it's wow. Okay, this is the reason why. And so maybe, in the beginning, I thought maybe that's the reason why, because Dallas's offense could never really truly get on a flow because our defense wasn't allowing it. So I think that's where the preseason probably would have became a little bit more useful to be able to whoop other teams' ass, and then that, because your defense wasn't allowing it. Your defense was definitely not allowing that. And so that's always a difference of opinion. I could say one thing, that doesn't mean anything, but you got Mark in
now
here.
I have news here. We were worried about Jason Peters. It's a rib issue. Now I don't know if it's probably not a rib. If he did it in practice, it's probably not a broken rib. It's probably a rib cartilage. That's just my educated guess. But yeah, it's a rib issue, and he's dying to play this week against the Eagles for obvious reasons. So I'm not saying start him, but if we can have him back and he's on the sideline as a backup role, McGovern actually did good this week. I was happy with McGovern.
Yeah, he actually did really well.
And even Tyler had a couple penalties. He did okay too. We talked about it ad nauseum at the desk last night.
Oh, man.
It's Kellen Moore that's letting this team down. Mm-hmm. When it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, it's really bad. You do not... I was telling Mark, it was shades... It brought back memories, not on the same level, of Chaz Green when he kept getting beat and they chose not to at least line up a tight end next to him. Now, DMB goes, well, if they line up a tight end next to him, then they'll just change what they're doing.
That's fine. Let them change what they're doing.
That was my argument.
Yeah, let them change what they're doing.
Then now you're not going to try and come up, you can only help so much is what I'm trying to say. But he needed help against Aaron Donald, so why not run a tight end on that side? Even if you don't want to run 12 personnel or 12 personal, whatever you want to call it, because you're anti-12 personal, it seems like, Kellen, because it's not creative enough for you because you want to look good to set up your next stop.
Yeah. Well, let's
look at... Didn't make any sense to me, man. You left him out to dry. Aaron Donald will do that to everybody.
Yeah,
so that's no shame on that kid.
Let's jump on, and I think that was more of a welcome to the NFL type moment for him. So, I mean, hey, that's okay, man. You're to do it against one of the better linemen in the NFL. That's okay, man. But we got some loyal Cowboys dropping some facts here, I think. He goes, this game coming up has playoff implication, and is a key divisional game winner, could win divisional based on game tiebreaker. I mean, right now we got 2 wins in the division. So I mean, if
Dallas wins Sunday, they're winning the division. Okay, if Dallas loses Sunday, they're not out of it. No. I'm telling you that now. Looking at the schedule, Eagles' schedule gets easy too, but we're gonna run, barring injury. I mean, I don't want to, state the obvious, but we've already had our share of injuries, and we're doing nothing but winning.
Yeah,
with a defense can travel. I'm surprised at the Eagles' defense, but I think a lot of their stuff came in bunches against bad. Like last week, he fumbled. The quarterback fumbled the ball 4 times. That's going to make your numbers look good.
Yeah,
Kyler Murray missed wide open people yesterday.
Let me jump over negative here for us. When you look at the defense, what is the one thing that we are? And loyal Cowboy kind of hits the nail on the head here. Another thing that we have to improve on is stopping the run. Hurts is more mobile than Matthew Stafford, which is true. I think the one thing that this defense does have a weakness is stopping the running game. And what does Hurts like to do? He loves to run compared to actually passing the ball. So I mean, that definitely could have an impact on.
I'm curious to see.
Go ahead.
I wish they would go with a spy this week. Sorry, I wish they would spy Hurts.
That's okay.
Take him out of the game. Take his running out of the game. I don't know that they can, based on what Eagles are going to do offensively. You're going to leave yourself out there a bit. I would line up. It's a good matchup for him. Diggs on AJ Brown. That's your guy. You go wherever he goes. He lined up more in a slot than I thought he was yesterday. And Cup made a couple great catches. Everybody wants to talk shit. Cup made a couple unbelievable plays.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one area to throw the ball, and he was catching shit with one hand. Like
Mm-hmm.
I said, he's going to have his 10 catches. I don't know what he ended up with, but it was probably around 10, 11 catches.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
The 12
like
catches.
9 or 10.
And he got his touchdown.
Yeah, and he had 127 yards. Wasn't anything
That's
surprising.
my thing.
Yeah, did you stop everybody else? And Higbee had some moments. You were pointing that out as well. That Higbee did start to make something, but they kind of jumped on it very quickly. Curse jumped on him. So I mean, it was, they were able to really make a claim for it. I mean, when you look at the overall defense, I mean, five sacks. You had 3 turnovers. So I mean, there was a lot. There was a lot happening. I mean, the Rams could definitely never get comfortable, and so I mean, yeah. And when you look at guys like Colin Cowherd, the first thing that he was able to point, the Rams have a bad line,
and Cowboys?
The excuses automatically started again. It was no longer, when you look at, let's bring up a team in our division. We look at the Giants and their impressive victory against the Green Bay Packers, which, again, that was a team. That right there is a quality win. When we're talking about the Eagles and we're talking about, hey, have you beaten anybody? When you look at the Giants, now that was a quality win. So with their record and how they want to keep putting the Giants up there, their one loss is against us. So that means nothing. Like, they want to discredit the victory, but,
You know how it works, Phil. You know how it works. Whatever helps their argument, they're going to go with that narrative. Listen, the Giants are getting better, and they're a good team. We beat them. Just because we beat them, they're not a good team. It makes no sense to me. The Eagles are a good team. The record says what you say they are. I was looking at the overall NFL, and I'm liking us around 5 or 6 right now. Mm-hmm. There's a couple teams that are 3-2 that might be better than us, but I don't believe it. The way our defense is playing, that puts us in the top 5.
Well,
you have to make the Eagles one only because nobody's beaten them yet. But it's a long season, people.
Yeah,
they're losing people already.
Yeah, when you look at it, look
what happened yesterday. It wasn't as smooth as it's been.
Well, let's look at the Giants.
Get pressure on him. What do you think we're going to do to him?
Let's look at the Giants.
That's why I want to spy on Hurts, because I don't want Hurts sliding out and running for 40 yards. He's going to do it once. But I don't want him continually having that option to run the ball. Let somebody else beat me. Stop the run, contain Hurts, and if Dallas Goedert's going to beat us, then Dallas Goedert's going to beat us.
Let's look at some of these wins.
That's how you got to play it.
Let's look at some of these wins, Brian. I mean, when you look at the Giants, the one thing that they've noticed a pattern about is the fact that they get behind and they are a second half team. So what is this defense doing? This defense, once it gets ahead, it can do some amazing stuff. Now you're playing from behind. This is what definitely leads into this defense and what it does best. So, when you look at the Eagles are very quick to jump out ahead, and then they tend to kind of, drain out, whether it's tired. I'm not sure what's going on in the second half. So, wow, they're breaking into the thing. In the second half for them, but, you can see a pattern here. So when you look at the defense, if the defense can stop them early, I mean, that's going to say a whole lot.
That's the thing. If we could stay close with the Eagles, because the Eagles have firepower, but if I'm playing them, I'm containing Hurts and shutting down the run and take my chances with everybody else. That's what I would do, because Hurts is killing people with his legs. Mm-hmm. He is. Stay disciplined on your rush on the ends. Don't cave in and give him the outside. Hopefully Bohannon is ready to go, but I thought Watkins played well yesterday. And we finally saw Osa really have a good game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he was getting a lot of pressure.
I'm already feeling like I did last week, Phil. I started out thinking it's just my normal. Oh my God, we're playing the Super Bowl champs. The Rams are great, and then when you dig into it, it's like, oh, you have a shot. Our defense will travel.
Yeah,
it's going to travel next week. If we get blown out, we're walking into a hornet's nest. The stadium's going to be nuts. So the quarter is going to be huge in this game. If we could stay within 3 points at halftime, we're going to win the game.
Okay,
Bank it, book it, lock it, whatever. If we could stay within 3 points at halftime, because we come out in the third quarter every game this year, we are shutting shit out, turning out the lights, and expect it. And the one thing about the Phillies fans, they're passionate, they're loud, they're crazy, but they'll turn on their team if they start screwing up. So let's bank on that. Stay tuned.
So great. So when we look back, before we get ahead, and you don't allow us to have a show on Saturday at all, let's go back and let's talk about this again. Again, this a very impressive win, and don't let people discredit this, because I mean, when you look at the Rams haven't been able to get going, and everybody has their problems, and the line is depleted. Look at everybody's line. Look at our left side of the line. I mean, like, come on. They don't give us the excuse. Don't allow other teams to have that excuse. That's the reason why you have depth. That's the reason why you have backups. You have to do the game plan all the way past the starters. The Super Bowl contending teams, it's never just the starters are good and the backups are terrible. Come on, man. So you have to put the whole team together. So I never see that as an excuse.
Works, man.
So, I mean, if you look at our backup quarterback, our backup quarterback's in, our backup left tackle, because of our left guard. And then you look at a backup, whether it's safeties and the defensive lines. And so I mean, it's kind of everywhere. The wide receivers. So, I mean, everybody has to play with backup.
The best safeties in the league.
Oh, definitely.
I think we got the best.
2 years ago, we had no safeties.
Sorry, I'm talking all three safeties.
Yeah, I'm saying all five safeties. I'm going to say
they would play. Yeah.
Bell, I think he's going to be something eventually.
They would play Donovan. They would play Hooker at the same time.
Yeah, and I mean, these guys have been balling, and you're kind of rotating and allowing them to just play in different spots. People, again, Dan Quinn is very good at the game plan part of it, and so I fear losing him. I'm already at that point. Like, he's doing so good this year. How do you not give him a head coaching job? And so it's more going to be about him.
Head coaching job.
No, I'm not talking about us giving it to him. I'm talking about another team. How do you not want that as your head coach?
We're not allowing it.
But I hope not, because Dan Quinn has definitely transformed our culture.
Throw him a couple mil.
Yeah,
tell him.
So I'm saying, man, stay. Like, let's win us a Super Bowl. Like, he doesn't have that. Let's put something on your hand there, because it all weighs the same. So. I'm interested to see what they do, but I'm just loving how he transformed it. I mean, when you saw that video when you're coming down the tunnel and he's just giving everybody love. He's greeting everybody. He's saying high five. He takes a moment with Curse, because that's definitely a hell of a leader. And he gives him a little bit extra love, because obviously he was in Atlanta with him as well too. But just to see how he treats these guys that he's drafted, he's definitely got an investment in this defense, and this defense definitely thrives on him, man. I thrive on him as a fan. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dan Quinn gets what Dan Quinn wants.
Yeah,
and I like it. Because he's actually, you can give all the talent to people. Look at Matt Rule. Matt Rule has ran that team into the dirt in Carolina. But you give Dan Quinn a piece, he finds a way for it to work. You would say, "Oh my God, we got all these players. Is everybody going to be happy?" Are you hearing the comments coming out of the locker room? They're saying this is the closest and the most together team that they've ever been on. This is coming from DeMarcus Lawrence. This is coming from Micah Parsons saying, we are so close. We fight for one another. And that leads you to start thinking, well, who was on the team that maybe was more about me? I'm not going to name names, but you could, obviously people that aren't here anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. And listen, man, this is gonna be a fun week, man. I live in enemy territory here, and they're already talking. It's The one thing I'll agree with DMV, he wants to he was rooting for the Eagles to win. Now I can't do that. That's it. Deep down in my soul, I can't root for them just because I've been in that stadium in the vet when they're beating us, they're sacking Troy Aikman 11 times, and people are just going nuts. I've been there. He wanted them to win because he wanted us to take their O. He wants us to take their O away next week. So we'll see. Stay tuned for Saturday, people.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing but love there. I think that's what we were talking about before, because he was talking about whether we wanted him on the show. And I said, man, one thing I love about him is that he supports his team in a very passionate way, which honestly represents Philly a lot, I think. He's up and down. He's got hell of emotions behind him, but he respects the game. He's not dumb. He understands what we have, our strengths, our weaknesses as well too. So he may think our some of our strengths are weaknesses, but that's that same thing for us. So I like the fact that you can kind of talk to him as well too. So again, let's jump back to the defense as we talk about as we're talking about Philly and this defense. Of course, Philly's offense has not faced a defense like this, but what NFL team has? When you look at this, I mean, we are ranked 10th in defense. Yeah, whatever, What I'm saying, you got this whole underdog thing. I mean, you can, the turnovers and all that stuff is fluke. And no, man, they're taking it away. It's not turnovers. They're takeaways.
Right.
Right. We're getting sacks with 3 to 4 guys. We're not blitzing hardly any of the time. So, I mean, no, don't give them credit for anything. So I mean that's okay. I mean, like you've said many times, having the underdog mentality, and I like of course McCarthy's whole concept where we're nobody's underdog.
Listen, yeah, and I ain't no punk bitch. I ain't no punk bitch, right? We ain't nobody's underdog. We ain't nobody's punk bitches. That defense travels. I'd rather have a team with a defense like this. And you know what? If looks like I'm going to get Philly 500 on Saturday night, he will tell you, and I know he will tell you, the glory days of the Eagles was Jerome Brown, was Reggie White, was Clyde Simmons, was Seth Joyner, was Mike Golick, was Andre Dirty Waters. Well, you can go on and on and on. You want to have a dominating defense that puts fear in the other quarterback. And the fact that we got a Dak Prescott, a Michael Gallup, a CeeDee Lamb, a Zeke Elliott, this team, I'm telling you, people, get ready. This could be special. There's nobody that's dominant. It's going to come down to us and the Eagles. And let's face it, we own the Eagles. I don't give a shit. We own the Eagles. Dak owns the Eagles. It may not necessarily happen next week, but in a big game, we own the Eagles. And this is setting up to be an unbelievable year. Stay tuned. I know we're getting late, Phil, but stay tuned.
Yeah, it was like, I got my bedtime.
No, well, we like to do your recap show. We don't want to go too long here. I know people were getting ready to go on. I don't know what time Mark's going on. Probably, 8:15?
Mark, what time you go on, man?
So we got a little bit of time. But
we'll jump over there and put our 2 cents in over there. But no, man, I'm excited about this team. I was very nervous going into this game. Like I told you, I spilled it out. What exactly? Hey, we don't have to have everything go right. But, you get some special teams going on in there. Definitely was happening. The defense does his thing. Yeah. It definitely happened. Kellen Moore doesn't do Kellen Moore's type of things too much. It kind of happened. The referees kind of stayed out of the game, whether it was on our side or their side. The referees are kind of just out of it, which I'm all for, but as long as it's equal in that sense. So, I mean, of course, the vibe in that stadium was definitely a home game for the Dallas Cowboys. They travel well. I think that's where hey crazy. Man, that's crazy to watch. When you look at that stadium and you see it, man, it is crazy to see, man.
Look at
great.
The chat, Phil.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, I know it. Well, just make make Tay a mod and make because once we grow the channel, these will people will, it looks like a lot now, but
no,
make Tay a mod and make Gina make Gina a mod just because Gina, you got to take care of Gina.
Yeah, Gina takes care of us.
Yeah, that, and as we grow the channel, it won't look so blue, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, but man,
hold on,
I'm excited about this week. I'm scared because I live in enemy territory. I'm scared. I'm just scared, but I don't see us getting blown out by this team with this defense. That's the comforting thing. And now I know back, even though the Eagles choked it up with with Reggie White and all those great players, Jerome Brown, even though they choked it up. Buddy Ryan was, choking on pork chops and he couldn't get the job done. And then we came along and, Jimmy Johnson told him
I'm just interested to see if we're going
to his ass.
I'm just interested to see if we're going to see a T-shirt this week. Because we all know or he's just going to just let the game happen, or is he going to make it one of his T-shirts?
He is smelling himself. He is a smug dude. I could tell you stories about the guy, but listen, now all of a sudden they love him. They hated him at the beginning of last year in his corny, he would just ramble at the podium talking about corny shit. Whatever. He beat Dallas. Okay. You haven't beaten us in a while, bro. I don't even know if he's beaten us. I don't think he's beaten us. You're due, if anything else.
Yeah, man. Well, man. Great conversation because honestly, it's a great victory. And I've watched this game like 3 or 4 times to trying to catch up some of the stuff. But it's always easier to watch the Cowboys' victory. But man, what a hell of a victory! It was an overall team victory. Even to Rush. I mean, Rush wasn't impressive, but again, he wasn't turning the ball over. When you look at a lot of those drives, if you look at the drives, there was a lot of punting there. So that's the difference right there, man. A couple of more, I'm not saying that Dak's 100% perfect and everything as well, too. But, he definitely will give you an extra drive or two as well. That's for the coaches to decide what they're going to do. I'm okay with Rush going into this game, maybe, again, Dak being active and seeing how it goes.
Go at Rush this week, man. This is not a week to bring him back.
No,
go at Rush.
Because even if stuff was to go wrong, I just don't want it to be on the whole deck. So, I mean, bring it back for the Lions afterwards. Yeah, so I mean. I
wanted to split between last week and this week, so.
Yeah, so.
We're playing with house money at this point.
Definitely agree on that one. So, again, you have any more points you want to make about the game against the Rams?
No, I'm good to go. Everybody, please just show up on Saturday because it's going to be fire.
Yeah.
We're going to have Philly 500 on here. He's going to, I'm probably going to go at it with him a little bit, but that'll be fun.
Is he coming on?
It's all love.
If he's coming on,
respect.
I can prepare.
Phil can moderate the
I can be like the presidential moderator. The ones that are like, all right, let's get on to the next subject. But no, man, tell people where they can find you if they haven't already, Brian. And we're going to try to jump on your more channels.
GameTime Brian.
Yeah, man. I got it in the description.
GameTime Brian on Twitter and GameTime Brian on YouTube. I know you have the link up.
Yep.
I put it in there. I don't care who the QB is, as long as we win. I'm with you, Adam.
Oh man, I'm with you right there.
Dak's our guy. Just not this week. This week. Let Cooper get another weekend. GameTime Brian. All right.
Yeah, man. 420.
Ready to roll.
Yeah, somebody made a comment. I had a friend make a comment. Like, it's funny how you always broadcast at the same time. I'm like, hey, I'm just consistent, man. I'm always consistent about it.
James Nooks, Primetime. Leave me the link. I want to come on. I'll be nice to Philly. Oh yeah. Nooks.
That's funny.
Nooks has got the look, man. He's got the man cave.
But anyways, I appreciate everybody coming on, man. Great conversations, great points as well too. You guys were calling it in the chat
Thanks,
of what
Mark.
the victory was going to be. We're going to be on Mark's channel, so if you guys jump over there, we're going to be watching the game and seeing how that goes. You got to scope out the competition. So just a great
I'm
thing.
Eat some dinner, and then I'll slide on with Mark.
And thank you, Adam Scott. Adam Scott subscribed to the channel. I
dinner.
appreciate it, Adam. I'm going to try to shout these out more as well. I'm going to try to bring these in. I know I see Law and all them. They have it pop up. So I'm going to try to figure all that out at some point. YouTube makes it hard right now because they're not allowing it to.
Hit me up. GameTime Brian.
So I appreciate that, man. I really do. So, again, I'm Primetime Phil, and this GameTime Brian. I appreciate you coming on. We'll see you on Saturday. Brian. If you're not going over to Mark's, we'll see you on Saturday at 7 p.m., man. And hopefully we'll have a guest with us, all right? All right, guys.
We're going to have a guest. Get ready, people.
All right, man. You guys take care. Have a great week. And, awesome, Cowboy Nation. Don't forget to ring the bell.
Hey! We know each other. He's a friend from work.
What you do, you're like a little screw loose type of guy, and I thought that's how I am. So I'm digging it, big guy. I am.
Who are you?
You.
No, not me, you.
Yes, I am you.
Just answer the damn questions. Who are you?
GameTime Brian, otherwise known as the mailman here,
Cool name. Superpowers?
broadcasting from the illustrious Jobu Studio.
Come on, are you gonna tell me who that is?
Primetime Phil, and of course my co-host, GameTime Bryan.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this place is going to explode. $100,000. I don't even need to hear it.